Hi, this is Arwani. Thank you for tuning into my channel. So today I decided to go for a jog, thanks to level 4, and it got me thinking of all the experiences that I had, like my whole experience that I went through when I decided to start jogging, when I decided I wanted to run a marathon for the very first time in my life. And I realized that this experience, we tend to experience such whenever we want to try something new in our lives, whenever we want to try out a new project. And I just thought maybe I should share it with everyone. Hence, I just took out the phone and decided to take a quick video. I hope you enjoy it. Maybe before we go into the video, um, maybe you can just go ahead and hit that subscribe button so that you can be alerted on all the future posts, all the videos that we're gonna be uploading in future. And of course, you can be part of the community. And again, thanks to everyone else that has already subscribed. And I'm looking forward to a great time together. Okay, so in terms of the jogging, so I decided I would like to try out. I'd like to try to run a marathon, and it was like for the very first time. So this was something new in my life that I was gonna attempt. So in order to keep this short, that we shouldn't like shoot a very long video, we're gonna do. I'm gonna do this in 4 episodes, which will basically describe um, like the experience I had while preparing for the marathon, the experience that I had just before the race, and then the experience I had during the race, and also what I experienced after the race. So that is what the 4 videos will be all about. And today we're gonna be focusing on the experience, on what I experienced while preparing for the race, what I experienced while preparing for my very first marathon. Um, I must say it was quite interesting. There were three main feelings or thoughts or emotions, if we may call it that, that I went through during this period, during the period of preparing, and I had to overcome this for me to actually find myself at the starting line of the marathon and actually attempting to run. So the first one that I went through was, I felt motivated. So I felt motivated to actually go and start this, to go and run a marathon. And one thing that motivated me was that in 2019, myself, my wife, and a friend, we went to support one of our other friends who was running a marathon. So it was one of these big annual marathons, and we decided to go there so that when he crosses the finish line, he will find us there. It was the very first time that I attended such, and I was quite surprised as to what I found there. I saw how everyone was happy to be there. Everyone was, there was just a vibe. It was a vibe there. Everyone was just excited. We got there later in the day, so some of the guys that were running in the marathon had already finished. I mean, you could see the happiness in their faces. They were so proud of themselves, of what they've accomplished. So I was standing there and I was looking at everything, and I felt left out actually, and I decided right there and then that, you know what, I want to feel this, I want to experience this as well. So I decided to join. I decided that, you know what, next year I'm also gonna run a marathon. I was feeling very motivated. I was inspired. I felt like anything is possible at that particular point. So, before we partake any project, we tend to feel that way. You meet someone that inspires you to do something, or you watch a video, or you watch a movie and it inspires you to do something. We get all this crazy ideas to try out something new that we've never tried out. We feel motivated. We feel that we can do it. And that is just the beginning. Okay. So the next feeling, the next emotion that I went through was self doubt. Now, this was a total 180, sorry, it was a total 180-degree turn from the motivation, because now this was the time when now I have to start acting on my desires, on my desire to go and run that marathon. This is the time when now you have to act on what you say you want to do. So I started feeling self-doubt, I started asking myself, I mean, it's the first time I've ever done something like this. Do I now need to go and get new sneakers just so that I can start running? Do I need to get a whole new outfit? Um, I started thinking, yeah, maybe this is a lot of work, I've never ran a marathon before. So maybe I'm not gonna make it. I've never done this before. So I was just experiencing self doubt, and the more I thought about it, the more I thought about what could go wrong, the more my mind just kept on giving me so many scenarios of how maybe I'm not good enough. I started giving myself excuses. I started doubting myself. I think we all go through that self doubt. That self doubt when we want to try something new. You start thinking to yourself, maybe you're not good enough. You start thinking to yourself, maybe you're not strong enough. Maybe you're not fit enough. To be honest, you'll never know unless you try. You will never know unless you try. I feel like if you don't overcome that first stumbling block of self doubt, you'll miss out on a lot in life. You'll miss out on a lot. So it is something that we have to be aware of, that whenever you're gonna start a new project, you're gonna go through self doubt. It doesn't mean that you're not gonna make it. It is just the initial stages, and you need to overcome that. You need to work over that and overcome it. So after overcoming my self doubt, when I decided, okay, I'm gonna put on the sneakers, I'm gonna run. I went through another emotion, and this emotion was fear. You know, I started being afraid that, okay, first of all, what if when I'm going out jogging, I am not, I'm not running how professional joggers are supposed to jog? What are people gonna say? I think that is one of the biggest fears that we go through. We start asking ourselves, what is other people, what are the other people gonna say when we try out what we wanna try out? What are they gonna say when I decide to start my own business? What if I fail at this business? What are they gonna say? You know, we are afraid. We think more of what the external world is gonna say to us, instead of us focusing on what are we gonna say to the external world. What I'm trying to say is, at that particular time, I realized that instead of worrying about what are people gonna say about how I'm jogging, what are people gonna say when they see me jogging, are they gonna say, oh, he's trying out to jog, it's not gonna last, and I realized that instead of worrying about that, I need to focus on what story am I writing for myself? What am I gonna say to the people when I'm jogging? I realized that instead of focusing on what they're gonna say to me, I must focus on what I'm gonna say to the world, the message that I'm sending out. I mean, for every person that might say something negative, I promise you there's someone out there looking up to you and feeling inspired that someone similar to them has actually been brave enough to go out and start. So maybe put your focus on that as you try out whatever new project that you're trying, you're also inspiring others to defeat their fears, to overcome their fears, and try it out as well. So I realized that, and I thought to myself, okay, I'm not gonna care about what they're gonna say. I'm gonna run. I'm not gonna worry about what anyone else is gonna say. I'm just gonna run. Then there was another fear, what about the challenges that I'm gonna meet along the way? I became afraid of that. For me in particular, in my neighborhood, there's a lot of dogs. So I started thinking to myself, what if I get chased by dogs? What if I get run down by a car? It was just a whole lot of what ifs. it was just a whole lot of what ifs, and the more you concentrate on it, the more your mind runs away with it. Like, what if this happens? What if that happens? You know, then I realized that, okay, what if I don't get chased by a dog? What if I don't get hit? What if I don't get run over by a car? Then what? That's the more positive side of it. Instead of focusing on all the things that could go wrong during my practice run, I started focusing my mind on all the things that could go right. So what if I didn't get chased down by a dog? What if I didn't get run down by a car? Then what would be the result? I would be one step closer to running my first marathon. So in short, those were the three things that I went through before, like as I was preparing for my marathon, and I feel that it is what most of us go through. So I went through motivation when the idea first hit me for the very first time. I went through self-doubt when I started spending time thinking about the idea before I started doing anything about it. And then I was also afraid just when I was about to start practicing, just when I was about to start taking practice runs, jogging, practicing for this marathon. So I'm here to encourage you to say, you know what, whatever it is that you are thinking of doing, whatever idea that is there in your mind, don't listen to that negative voice in your head. Think about the first time that idea came up into your mind. Think about why you decided to do that. Think about what caused you to try and pursue such an idea, and focus your mind on that, because I can promise you that we all go through this. And for me, it's only the strong minds that actually overcome this self-doubt, this fear, this all these negative emotions that may try to hold you back from actually trying it out. You understand? So I'm saying work through that. I'm saying defeat the fear. I'm saying overcome the self-doubt, and you'll actually be proud of the results that you're gonna get. I mean, at the end of the day, you would have pursued something that you want. It's something to be proud of. So yeah, not to prolong the video, that was my first experience, like when I was practicing to go for the marathon, and that is what I learned. That those are the lessons that I took from that, and it's something that I now apply to my everyday life. And because of that, I am now trying out a lot of things. Because of overcoming that, I am now at a point in my life whereby whenever I have an idea to do something, I go ahead and do it, regardless of all the negative thoughts that may come up. And I've learned that the more I live like this, there is less and less negative thoughts that come to my mind whenever I want to try something new. It's becoming more like a lifestyle of not listening to the negative voice, but rather focusing on the positive. So I'm gonna end my video here, and on the next video I'm gonna talk about my experience just before the race. And yeah, it's gonna be a good one. And again, before we end the video, I'm just gonna ask you to please hit that subscribe button so that we can continue. You can be part of the community, and you can get notifications every time I post a new video. Thank you. I hope you enjoyed this first part of the video, and I hope you'll be looking forward to the next part. Thanks.